Starfighters. Welcome to Mad Science Films. I'm Jimmy P, filmmaker and sexual astronaut. And as ever, I'm joined by my erotic co-host,
James Morrissey, one half of the Mad Science Films team. So guys, remember, if you do like this video, then please hit the like button. If you've been enjoying the Mad Science content, then why not subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook. If you have any comments or suggestions, and leave those in the comment section down below. Let's crack on with the show.
Yo, also guys, before we crack on with the show, let me just hold it up, put the brakes on slightly. Please check out our fourth feature film for free over on YouTube. Just search for Little I was doing so well. Little Monster, or click on the link in the show notes below. Also, hey, I'll tell you what, if you want to throw us a little bit of money, it's on UK Amazon Prime, and you can rent it for like $2.50 or something. So, hey, do that.
Bargain.
Yeah, nice.
Do it now.
So, this week, guys, we are campaigning for a forgotten masterpiece of genre cinema to be given the Blu Ray treatment. This week, James M's choice. So, James.
Right, I'm bringing to you, Mr. Plumb, Peter Uval's Dead End City, aka Fighting Warriors.
Yeah, there you are.
Yes. I mean, I can see why they've gone with Dead End City, to be honest.
Yeah, much better title.
Yeah. So anyway, so the synopsis is the government's new urban renewal policy results in street gangs fighting for control of the inner cities. Whilst most of the residents flee, one factory owner determines to fight the gangs for his property. Siege movie.
Yes.
We have it in our hands, Jimbo.
This is definitely a first time watch, man. And I was skeptical because I'd never heard of it. And I was like, what's this going to be like? I love a siege movie. For me, this was firing on all cylinders apart from one really important aspect, but we'll get to that later. Love a siege movie. Baddie was Robert Zadar, who big fan of. Maniac Cop, man. Maniac Cop in this house. Yeah.
He's a proper thespian, isn't he? He's definitely watched like a lot of Oliver Reed. He has this thing about him, doesn't he?
And do you know what? What I loved about it was, like, with the Maniac Cop movies, he doesn't really get a chance to act. He's not like a Freddy Krueger type slasher. He's like, silent. Maybe you get like a close up of his eyes looking menacing. This gave him some work to do, and he brought his A game, man. I love it.
He was like a stylish, psychotic leader of the Rats gang fucking guy. He was really cool. Yeah, he's the Rats. So brilliant name for a gang, isn't it? Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I mean, Paul Greg Cummings, not the strongest of lead actors. I think this is only his second credit on IMDb, so he's probably just fresh into the role, particularly for a lead role. So
yeah, I've seen his first one, the Hack-O-Lantern, which is a occult slasher kind of thing. Don't really recommend it. Not a great watch, to be honest, but he didn't scream action hero at all, but I did believe the stoic kind of righteous kind of man wants to defend his property against the evil bad guys outside. So I did kind of believe that, but as an action hero, perhaps not quite as so. But maybe this is my thing with it, right? Great setup. I love the setup.
Yeah.
The concept is brilliant, and slight spoilers. I think we've got to go into spoilers a bit because there's like a bit of a twist. And I don't want to go into the final twist, but like there's a bit of a twist where basically it's gentrification, Jim. They're running the gangs are running these people out so that people can come in and build beautiful skyscrapers and all that kind of stuff. So I love that setup. I love a siege movie, and I think as a filmmaker thing, they had access to a warehouse,
brilliant locations. Yeah.
And they made a siege movie there, and I was like, that's great because visually there's all sorts of stuff going on. From a practical point of view, it didn't really work because far too often, they kind of barricade themselves in, and then somebody just kind of walks in, and you're like, yeah.
I also love how partway through the lead, Greg, he just manages to go out of the siege scenario for a little bit, go for a little wander around the siege, and then come straight back into it again. Which kind of negates the idea of a siege. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that kind of broke that tension.
If you can pop in and out, it's not really a siege.
Exactly, I'd agree with that. I mean, I love the twist that comes with that, and I love.
Yeah.
And again, I have more questions like, how do you build skyscrapers in secret?
Yes, and so quickly as well. You know.
Yeah, I mean, part of me really loved it, and it had that obviously that futuristic gang vibe to it. But the thing that really lets me down, and this goes back to Greg Cummings here, is the hero characters. I really struggled to give a shit. Like when your baddie is Robert Zadar, and the rest of the gang are like pretty cool, and it's a great setup. You've got to care about the characters inside.
Yeah, totally. I just think they could have gone in a bit more with the dad, because it was the dad who owned the factory. And I think if he was a better actor, I think that might have helped sell it a bit more. Like I said, he was kind of believable, but as the lead guy for this film.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Cummings, for lots of people, but not Jim, because Jim still hasn't watched this. I think you're intimidated by the fact there's like 15 series. Greg Cummings is like a great supporting actor, and he's plays one of the main characters' dads in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is
I keep hearing about this
all the time, Jim. I'm telling you to watch this. But anyway,
I know.
He plays like a jailbird character in that. He's like always constantly in jail. He's like a menacing character, and I think with age he's kind of grown into that as well. He is brilliant in that, but as a lead action guy, not up to it. There's the other characters, apart from like basic traits like female and best friend and blind, they didn't have any characters at all.
It felt a bit thrown in, but I kind of like the cliche. I like when the blind guy is trying to tell him there's someone on the roof, and he just guesses, shoots him dead, and he's like, and he has a little smile on his face.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ridiculousness of that, but what I'm saying is it's not even a stereotype. Like, a best friend is not a stereotype. Woman is not a stereotype. Blind guy is not a stereotype. I would have loved, like, a stereotype is 2 dimensions. This is barely 1 dimension. These were just people who you knew weren't going to survive. There was the new newscaster, and again, like, they kind of set up Nancy, the secretary or whatever, as the potential love interest. And you're like, okay, it's going that way. And I'm fully on board. And then there's the newscaster. You're going to cop off with her at the end. And it's like, I don't feel that's in.
It almost like he was kind of decided halfway through production that's what's going to happen, kind of. Do you know what I mean? No, I see what you say. Yeah, there are definitely some flaws there, lack of build-up in regards to characters. I think they were more focused on the overarching story, like, because they got right into it, didn't they? They got right in with the killing, the gangs. The woman comes out, hey, if you got a light, blast it away. Really going for that 80s ultra-violent action. Which is great, but like you said, there were some things wanting for with the film, and I think if they were able to put some time into that, perhaps you would have had a much better film on our hands. But
it was nearly there, wasn't it? Definitely, bad stuff and everything like that. I think and again, it could have been sorted at the writing stage, which is free. You can rewrite your script and improve it and give it character stuff, and it doesn't cost you more. So that was the bit. And some of my recommendations are similar films, but where I give a shit about the characters. And it's a similar problem that you get, and again, I suppose it's like a formulaic genre thing. It's a similar problem you get with slasher films, when you don't care about the victim and you're all just about, the wisecracking, your Freddy killing people. I need more than that,
and definitely more about the factory itself, because it was just like a shithole, wasn't it? Who really gives a fuck? Just leave the shithole. I mean, but again, if you had some scenes of him in the factory
family
with his dad
photos and
stuff like that, and sometimes, I mean, who knows, they might have been there, they might have been cut out, because the runtime was only 120 minutes, I think.
It was.
No, wasn't it? No, it was an hour and 20. No, what was it?
It was it was about
an hour and 20
18 minutes.
So maybe there were some deleted scenes, who knows. That would be nice to see. if that even is a thing. But no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what it was. It didn't come up. It came up a little short, but I mean, Rob said amazing. You know, siege film, a lot of gun action. They definitely give us a lot of action with this film. They did try and make it a bit high octane, and they tried to kind of, you know, knock us off our feet with a bit of a twist at the end. So that's also a little.
Like I say, all of that, the concept I fully bought into. You know, it's within the realms of possibility. There are some later twists, which we won't touch the later twists. Which I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you've sold it. And that's what I love about twists. The perfect twist is inevitable, but also still a surprise. Like, you know, it's a surprise, but it's not completely out there. And that worked. That totally worked for me. As I say, I just needed to give a shit about the characters, and they didn't put the work in there. They didn't put the. I'm not blaming that on the actors either. You know, like still do the writing and have bad actors, and I'll still care for them. Like I keep going back to a zombie film called Zombie Nosh, where I won't say the actors are great, but I do give a shit about the characters. You know, they're in peril, and I care about them. And I think, that where it fell down for me, definitely.
Totally.
All right,
there you go.
Jim.
Cool.
So who's going to put this bad boy out for us?
I've gone for Vinegar Syndrome. They got some low budget films and some violent action films such as LA Wars and 1973's Shot.
Got that. That is a cracker. Like, do you remember the Beastie Boys video Sabotage, where they're just like
Sabotage?
It's that. It's long before that, but as a feature film, it is like a couple of guys with a camera, some bad mustaches and guns. I'll give you a lend, Jim. It's brilliant. It's fucking amazing. 88 films, because I think it could easily slot in there, an easy one. 101 films, because they got a few cool action films there too. Cool. Delta Force, Split Second, and Trespass, which is kind of similar. So Siege movie. That's a good one. That's a good one.
So
no, I agree. I went with 88 films, right kind of time period, early 90s, early 90s, action movie. You know, B movie, C movie kind of thing. So yeah, definitely, I'd go with the 88 films for that one, man. But yeah, some good picks there, dude. Definitely. Yeah. Okay, Jim. So people have watched. What are they going to follow it up with to get their action?
I was thinking about siege films, and there's loads. I mean, you go back to like Zulu, classic Michael Caine, stuff like that. Then you got like more later stuff like The Purge, very much the Purge kind of vibe. Yeah. I'm going to throw in, this may seem a random as fuck, but Robocop. This felt like it could be a spin-off to it in a weird way. Like, so. Yeah,
the setting, it's slightly in the future, gentrification. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, it felt like it could be a spin-off.
That universe.
Yeah.
Good call, man.
So,
actually, we're going to make that happen. We're going to say that this takes place in the same universe as Robocop. This is just like...
It feels like he could just turned up. You know, Murphy could be like a distant relative. Anyway, so, and an obvious one for us, I think you might have this on your list as well, is Assault on Precinct 13, because it's just an absolute gem. So there we go. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, agree 100%. It is number one on my list of recommendations because of the reason you give a shit about the characters. You know, at the end when you've got the cop and and they've got brilliant names which I've completely forgotten. You've got the cop and you've got the inmate, and they're back to back. One of them Bonaparte, isn't it? I think. And you give a shit, and they've gone through it, and the people who've died, you care about. So yeah, Assault on Precinct 13, definitely. That is for me like the uber
right up there
of siege movies. Another one from the early 80s, I think, Tenement, directed by Roberta Findlay. And again, that's kind of like a precursor almost to like The Raid, which actually would be another recommendation. But it's basically a gang trying to get into a building and like kill the tenements in the building, and the people go up the floors. And it does that brilliant thing that I love in Assault on Precinct 13 and Halloween, where it's got the date and the time, but it also does, you know, right alongside, it also says what floor they're on. So it's very much like, almost like that video game logic. Brilliant, sleazy film, check it out. That's an awesome one. Another fun one, which I think is more like mid 80s, and it's a Charles Band one, so I think it's pre Full Moon. So Empire Pictures put out one called Enemy Territory, starring Ray Parker Jr. That's right, fucking Mr. Ghostbuster theme tune guy. And who's the other guy? I want to say Jan Michael Vincent. I think it's Jan Michael Vincent, the Airwolf. Okay. Might be wrong on that. If not, I'll correct it here. Or was it Wings Hauser? 80s action guy. Enemy Territory, similar kind of thing. It's like a repair guy and a cop trying to get out of a tenement building, and that's brilliant. Who's the... Okay, I'm going to flash up there. There's a gang member in there who became quite famous later on, and it's really bugging me. I can't remember who it is. Yeah, similar to how you've kind of recommended Robocop, that kind of wasteland, American wasteland city thing. Deadbeat at Dawn by Jim Van Beber. Love it. It's like, you know, completely ruthless, lawless street. One man fighting against it. Not really a siege movie necessarily, but it's like gangs and one guy against a gang and getting revenge and stuff like that. So always, if you haven't checked out Deadbeat at Dawn, check it out anyway. But it would make a great double bill. In the same way that, Jim's suggestion of Robocop would make a good double bill for lawless American cities. So yeah, brilliant. Okay, guys, have you seen Dead End City? Sorry, my voice. I'm disappointed. I'm getting over a cold, not COVID. I'm getting over a cold, so I'm going to blame it on that. Have you seen Dead End City? What did you guys think? What do you think would make a good double bill with Dead End City? And are there any other forgotten films of genre masterpieces of cinema words in some sort of order that you think we should check out and campaign for a Blu Ray release? And Jim, what else can people do?
You can like and subscribe us on Facebook. You can come stalk us. No, God, that's right. You can like and subscribe us on YouTube. You can come stalk us on Facebook. You can leave your comments in the comment section down below. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.